Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Pokemon Black. We're in the desert trying to get the thing we need to get the other dragon, so we gotta have a fly Pokemon to get back to where we need to be, unless you want to trek all the way back through the mountains and stuff.
This is one of the very few Pokemon games where it kind of feels like you need Fly. Because many of the older... Gen 3, it definitely felt like you needed Fly as well.
You know, with the whole castles and knights and royalty thing going on in Unova's storyline, I think they really should have done Britain for this generation and saved Unova for when they did the professional sports things. It feels like the stereotypes about our countries got flipped.
You know what? You're kind of right. Because what do you think of when you think of the United States, but like
riots,
excessive consumerism,
excessive consumerism, and riots in the streets when the local football team loses?
Yeah.
When I think of Britain, I think of their castles and stuff, and like their royal background. They still have a king and queen and royal family. So culturally, that makes more sense. And they did, to be fair, give the main central town of Galar a castle motif, but that's the only place it ever comes up, isn't it? And the sword and the shield Pokemon as legendaries, but it's like, in the story, this could be America.
And honestly, how dare the Pokemon Company try to imply that the British-themed location has decent food? I'm offended.
Hey, fish and chips is okay. I like fish and chips.
Yeah, do you go to Britain for their, famous British curry? Well, I guess Tim Curry is famous and from Britain.
I was gonna say, Tim Curry's famous.
But listen, if there's one thing that America does right, it's food that tastes great and will definitely kill you. All right? Listen, you could do a million different Cooking Mama-styled minigames where you make lard-filled, disgusting, sugary, fat, salty food that's American and also delicious, but also terrible, but also delicious.
If there's one thing Americans like to do, it's consuming 3,000 calories a day, yes.
Only 3,000? You're going light, my friend.
That's 2 Baconator combos. Plus breakfast. Come on. No, I'm underestimating the amount of calories in a Baconator combo. It's so funny, though, because like there are so many items on like your standard fast food restaurant list that cover the calorie requirements of a standard day for a male, and then some in one go. But they're so good, I can't stop myself from ordering them.
Am I part of the problem?
Yes.
I've made it. I'm actually on a calorie conscious streak right now because I kind of want to lose the gut that I developed during my sedentary post-pandemic days, and I'm like, okay, what day am I going to allow myself to have a Baconator? That's going to be my cheat day.
Every day that ends in Y.
And even then, it has to be a single meal day because, like, that Baconator
single meal, as in, like, if you had the Baconator, that's all you're eating.
Look, I'm a gamer, okay? I'm not super active.
Don't ever say that again.
It's the truth. I spend all my free time with my ass in a chair in front of a computer, okay? Like, if I eat a Baconator combo, that is my calorie allotment for the entire day, okay? It's actually more than my calorie allotment. And, like, right now...
Listen, I wish I could do that because they're, like, it doesn't matter how big the food... like the meal I have is, it's just like I cannot.
Oh, I know, but like that's what Slim Fasts are for, right? You drink a Slim Fast and it counts for your and it controls your hunger for a while. So what your cheat day is basically is you have a big ass Baconator combo at lunch, and then you just drink a Slim Fast for the other 2 meals, and maybe have some peanuts out of a bag to take the edge off.
I could not do that. I can't. Like, there are people who are like, oh man, I was having so much fun playing this game that I forgot to have dinner, and I just look at you like you have 2 heads. Like, you can forget to have dinner. I couldn't. Like, I would
It's actually, like, even if you're on a diet, it's important to have those cheat days, though, because if I were to stop having my Baconator days, for example, my stomach would become accustomed to never having fatty and greasy foods ever again, and then some Christmas family gathering would happen, and they'd have burgers off the grill and fried chicken, and I'd be like, oh, sweet, and I'd eat them, and a few hours later it would hit me like a punch to the face, and I'd be out for the rest of the day.
See, like I thought this was going that you've gone so long without a Baconator, you start imagining your family members as Baconators. And he's like, I cannot be stopped.
No, this is actually a real thing. If you like go too long without eating fatty and greasy foods, your body loses its accustomed ability to digest them, and then you have them out of the blue at some party or something. You're out. You're done. That's your day.
No, it's a real thing, because I know that, like, for people who are vegetarian, for example, like, they often can't go back to eating meat because it will make them sick.
Yeah.
Because their bodies aren't used to that kind of food being in
Yeah.
So, like, I have to have my cheat day. I do not want to get to a point where I just can't eat my favorite stuff anymore.
Yeah, cheat days are important. To me, it's not even so much about like just not losing the feeling for it, but it's also just like it's so I don't lose my fucking mind.
It is. It does help take the edge off the difficulty of just having a really strict diet, but it's also just like, like I know what happens if I don't.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. It's like it shouldn't be that way, but it's also as if I don't take care of myself, I'm back in the hospital.
Anyway, back to the difference between Galar and Unova. Like,
can we talk about the Baconator?
What is with this underground desert dungeon in the America region?
I don't know, but I don't care because this is like my favorite song in the entire game. So, like, it's also, this dungeon is really funny because if you're one of those people who just holds down the B button without thinking, you fall into the quicksand pits and then you have to walk all the way through the dungeon all over again. And I still find myself doing it because God forbid I be patient for a half a second of my entire life.
Time to karate chop a leopard.
You can tell that they're trying to be Gen 1. All the Team Rocket people have Meowth.
At the very least, like, no, they are just trying to be.
Also, I wanted to mention it, but there was a Pokemon graveyard tower earlier in the game. You know,
yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of allusions to Gen 1 areas in this game, which again I think could definitely work since they were clearly trying to do something with the, you know, subversive element in the story. Like,
oh yeah,
oh, it's like Gen 1, but, you know, which they do with, oh, this is, you know, your Pidgey and your Rattata and Meowth and blah, blah, blah.
So if the big trash bag is like your big ass heavy duty trash bag out of your kitchen after a long day, what is the little one? Is that like bathroom trash bag?
That's the like when
office
you take
trash
the
bag?
plastic.
Yeah, I was gonna say the office bin.
Poor Trubbish.
Well, there's a hole in it too, is also the thing. So it's like the really cheap store brand one.
You threw away a broken pencil.
They've definitely gone away from this too in many of the later Pokemon games. Like these dungeons where you fight a lot of low-level grunt kind of trainers over and over.
I mean, but do you miss it?
Well, that's the kind of thing that I was talking about earlier, where these, in theory, are supposed to be a drain on your resources more than they are a challenge in terms of, like, actually winning the fight.
It is harder to run back to the Pokemon Center inside of a dungeon than it is in a route or something. So they can be more of a drain on your resources.
They were a bigger deal in Gen 1 because the dungeons were longer.
Teleporter puzzles.
Yeah, if you like try to fight all of the rocket trainers in the Sofco building, you'll need to go back and heal probably at least like once or twice. It doesn't help that Ryan's roughly 10 levels higher than these guys, so they don't really even deal damage to him ever. I don't think he's had to switch his Pokemon once. God damn it, Ryan, you're killing me, Smalls.
I'm just changing whichever my lead is, so.
I know, and that was the point I was trying to make.
I like how there are two grunts standing next to each other.
Oh, there was a meme! We just missed a meme where he said, I won't tolerate people who have different ideas. I think my favorite one of those is, it's from the original Shin Megami Tensei on SNES, where it's like a little ghost guy, and he says, your alignment differs from mine, I can't let you live. It's like, bro, I just said I prefer the Cool Ranch.
You
What's
know
wrong
what?
with you?
You know what? I think there's an even better version of that, and it's from Baldur's Gate 1. You just walk into one of the many random-ass taverns in Baldur's Gate when you finally get there toward the end game, and there's this fucking asshole paladin who talks to you. And if you have even a single evil alignment party member in your party, he goes aggro on you, and you either have to like finagle some way to run away without him following you, and then never enter that building again, or kill him dead in the street. The problem is he's a paladin, so if you do kill him, you lose massive reputation points. So, mixed alignment parties beware.
Yeah, but I mean, you were hanging out with Joe, the drug dealer. So, like, what did you expect?
It was a look. The evil member of my party was Viconia. And this is pre-Baldur's Gate 3 Viconia, so she's evil alignment because she's a dark elf, but she hasn't actually done anything. So it's like, you know, in fact, when you meet her, she's only being hunted for being a dark elf. If you're a Forgotten Realms fan, you're probably predisposed to be sympathetic about that because Dritz Duerden exists. In fact, he makes a cameo in the same game, so they expect you to know him. Having Viconia in your party is only annoying because she's an evil alignment character, and that means she automatically whines a lot if you're heroic.
Yeah, because she's an evil asshole. It's like, listen, you don't have to do anything bad if you are like, oh man, I really support the election of John Racist. You know, he's gonna do a great job.
You know, that John Racist got a good head on his shoulders.
But my point is, she's like the one Baldur's Gate 1 evil alignment character who makes sense in a mixed alignment party, and they knew it because in Baldur's Gate 2, you can have a romance with her that actually redeems her and makes her actually neutral rather than good. But, you know, she becomes uneviled. She's a complex character who can...
What the fuck does that mean?
She's a complex character who can change her alignment by the end of the series, is the thing. So, like, having Viconia there and walking face first into this paladin sucks. You know what I wound up doing? in the enhanced edition, they added, like, there's a helmet that I got when I played through the enhanced edition. You put it on a character and it flips their good and evil alignment to the opposite. I put it on her and I brainwashed her, just so that I could avoid this fucking paladin.
Oh, yeah, so that's gonna teach you that Lewis is an upstanding person. He's just gonna mind wipe everybody who doesn't agree with him. Okay. Maybe Lewis is the John Racist of us all.
In my headcanon, my character explained that this helmet would change your alignment to good, so that alignment spells would read you as good, because no alignment spells are actually in the game. They're fucking useless, but you can cast them and know on sight whether an NPC is good or evil. It's the kind of thing that makes no goddamn sense outside of pen and paper. But it's Baldur's Gate, so they included it in the game. And that's how the paladin
Does it change her personality or, like, dialogue? Like,
it stops her from whining a lot when you do good things, but, like, in terms of dialogue and what she says when you select her as a character, nah. It just changes her good value and all the things in the game that react to that. So it's just like a way of cheating the system to make sure she doesn't leave your party. But I already have a mod that does that, so who cares?
Man, I'm just imagining, like, this party member is, like, fed up with you helping grandma across the street. It's just like, you've helped grandma across the street for the last time, I'm leaving.
The thing about the reputation system and alignments in Baldur's Gate 1 is that the entire system sucks. So the best way to play the game is just modding the game so that it doesn't make party members leave at all. Because, like, everything is tied into your public alignment. You have to be a baby-kicking, mustache-twirling asshole in order to have evil reputation. So, like, if you do a good thing, even if it's for a practical reason, your reputation will go up, and the game will read that as you being a good alignment character, even though, you know, that's not necessarily what
you voted for John Racist.
Even though that's not what the thing you did actually implies, you know, sometimes an evil character would do good things to actually boost their reputation, so the bounty hunters don't come after them every time they change zones. That would be a good
Are
thing.
you telling me a computer that's full of zeros and ones cannot detect the nuance of personal interaction? I'm shocked.
The funny thing is, it's very easy to fix Baldur's Gate 1 so that it actually does detect evil as a separate value from public reputation. It's just that the base game doesn't do that.
It's just one of those things, though, where it's just like, if you're, again, because evil as an alignment thing is so nebulous, but it's like, evil people do good things all the time because, okay, yes, bad people exist and still like, oh, I'm gonna pick up groceries instead of making my wife do it. You know, like, a bad person will still do that. So it's like, okay, listen, the point I'm trying to make here is though that Lewis would let John Racist stay in his party. So,
No, that's TX. That's Edwin. Okay.
okay.
Edwin is this snarky red wizard who's just absolutely ham-fisted, mustache-twirling evil. You keep him in your party because he's hilarious. But, you know, and TX...
Oh, yes, that baby sure did make a good sound when I kicked
TX... TX worships Cyric, who is the god of insanity. Okay? He openly worships the god of insanity. That's the kind of selection that you're dealing with when evil characters come into play in Baldur's Gate 1. Viconia is a saint compared to the rest of the evil roster.
I am wondering why you would let the person who worships the god of insanity onto your team. I do have to say.
Because you're playing a mustache-twirling, baby-kicking evil person, basically.
maybe they're creating a conversation.
That's part of the problem with this. Is just like, okay, let's say that I am the CEO of Evil Corp. All right, and I'm hiring my employees. I don't want someone who worships the god of insanity.
I think you're a great warrior. I think you're a great warrior and playing capable, but you got to stop fucking kicking those children.
There is actually a behind-the-scenes reason for why the evil characters in Baldur's Gate 1 are all mustache-twirling, baby-kicking evil people. It's that, like, Baldur's Gate 1 was made during that early period where TSR still had like a strict code in response to the Satanic Panic. And one of the things in that code was, we cannot make evil seem sympathetic. So all the evil characters in the Dungeons & Dragons game had to be unsympathetic, which meant that they couldn't be too complex. Viconia got a pass because one of the most popular D&D things at the time, still one of the most popular D&D things at the time, is Dritz Stewart, the good aligned Drow Ranger, who has like 50 fucking books at this point. He's basically the Wolverine of Dungeons & Dragons. And he's so popular that the idea of having a Drow party member, even one that couldn't technically be good aligned, was really appealing. So they presented this character to you as someone who was on the surface and subject to the same prejudices Dritz had. They put a twist on the concept by making her actually evil, but you know, it was a character that was allowed to not be a mustache twirler, baby kicker kind of evil character because the concept aligned with money.
It shocks me to remember how late those things went on, because I think of that kind of stuff with like Silver Age comics, where I forget the comics code.
The comics code, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, that is the Silver Age was the reason why, we couldn't have sympathetic villains or anything like that, because it will scar the children's, but like that stuff did go through to like practically the 90s, so that's fun.
Yeah.
But it is what it is as far as that goes. See you next part for Pokemon Black, so see you later. Bye.